All right. Welcome to this week in base hit or this day in base hit. It's a double header. I know I said we'd be back next week. I lied. I try not to lie to you, but this time I lied. We're back in just however long
Why
it
did we
takes to
change
put
our
this up.
appearance if you're going to give away that it's the exact same
Oh,
day?
was I not supposed to? Yeah, I'm still wearing the same shirt. Yeah, well, all
Still
right.
got the
I
same
already
hair.
blew this
Still got the
podcast.
same hair, although it's funny.
We could just put that back on. No, wait, I'm
All right,
keeping this
all
on.
right, all right.
Go Indians.
I had another thing I wanted to talk about
All right, let's do it.
because I've been playing that college football, EA college football
Oh,
that they
have
put
you?
out
I
for the
bought it
first
and
time.
I haven't played it. It's just sitting there.
First time in forever, and I tried for like a day of learning the controls and everything else, and then pretty quickly I was like, all right, let me figure out how to make the simulation mode,
Yep.
and figured out setting up the team and watching them play, and it's awesome.
So
But
do
we've
you
talked about.
actually watch the full games or do you just simulate them?
I watch them. I mean, when I get bored, sometimes I'll speed them up, but
Do you
I've watched a
coach?
bunch of them. No, I set it up. I set up the settings before the game, and then I watched the results. And I don't know. I still feel like there's something in our psyche
Yep.
about the people that play this game that that's the appeal.
Yep. I've said it before to everybody I describe it to is like it's made for the people that would love the off season in Madden and then simulate the season.
Yep.
But now you can do it a lot better. Like once Madden like 14 or 15 came out, it was good enough that you could start watching the game too, where you it didn't force you to play, where like you'd have to hike the ball and then like
You used
move
to have to do
some.
that. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And once it got to that point, it was like, oh, okay, now I can just like pretend I'm in the skybox, like I've general managed this whole thing, and then
Yeah.
put it on the field. And I'm that's why I'm so excited about NCAA is because it's so much more fun to recruit players. You have 4 or 5 year cycles, depending on the red shirts, to push these players through, and you got to keep it going. So you don't have to worry about the salary cap. You worry about recruiting, which is a
Yeah.
lot more fun.
I don't know what it is about us, but I mean, you and I both came from that. For me, it was Earl Weaver Baseball, and it literally felt the same because so I got that when I think that was 86 or 87 or whatever, and you could set up. It had old classic teams, and then you could make your own team, and it had ratings. I mean, it was really it all ties in, but it had the ratings for the players, it had the settings that you had for your teams, and then
Yep.
I would set it up, and you could put it had one pitch mode, so even though it would go through and do it would simulate the whole thing, but it would only show you the last pitch of each at bat, and I would
Oh,
set
it
the
will.
game.
I
Yeah,
don't
so I
know
would
that.
set the game, and I would watch some of them, but a lot of them I just wanted to see the stats, but there wasn't a way to zoom it through. So I would set the game, turn it on, like shut down my room, and just leave it playing, and come back half an hour later to check the stats. And my dad did not understand. I remember my dad being like, "What in the hell is your
Computer doing.
computer still going? Why is it still playing the game?" I'm like, just
So
let it go.
you just played it on like MS DOS type game
Yeah,
where you load
Tandy. It
it.
was my old Tandy. It
Oh, is it was Tandy an Apple product?
was the Radio Shack computer.
I don't
Um,
remember. Yeah. That that's
but
awesome.
it was all the stats, and you can go back and see the play by play and everything else.
Yep.
But I feel like a lot of us have that story. I don't
Oh
know what it
yeah.
is.
A lot of us like including myself. Like I played Earl Weaver, but I didn't play the original version. I played it after it came out on Super Nintendo or Sega
And it
or
was
something.
similar.
It wasn't like that. It was more about the graphical interface. But the
Oh,
where I got into what you're talking about was Baseball Mogul, which was like a CD-ROM game, and it was all about the stats. I know a lot of people watching this also played Baseball Mogul because we've talked about it before, um, uh, and it was just beautiful because you could develop players through the minors in Baseball Mogul, which is something that I always wanted to do.
I need to
Yeah,
look
that's
that
fun.
up and see. I need to look it up and see the differences.
I wonder if Baseball Mogul's still playable. Actually, You know what? Like Earl Weaver Baseball, the one time I did play it was at the library of my school on an Apple II or whatever.
Yeah,
It did, I don't know why this just dawned on me, but like you could buy an old Apple II and actually play that game.
yeah.
There's
I
probably an
mean,
easier way to play it, right? There's
they
probably
have
an easier way to
emulators.
play
They
it.
have emulators.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I wonder. I don't know what it is that
I just looked it up. Do you know that was one of EA's first games?
Earl Weaver.
Yeah, EA Sports.
Oh no, I didn't realize that was. I didn't realize they were involved in it. Now that
Yeah,
I think about it.
they made it. They were founded in 1982. Wow, that
There's
blows me away. Uh,
somebody that had the vision there, like because they had it. They had the simulation engine. I don't know. It's and they had the mode. Like it wasn't like even with the college football one, I had to dig a little bit to figure out the way to simulate it. But it
yeah.
was very built into that one that you would have the just the general manager version that they knew you people were gonna do. I don't know.
So not to go too deep into this, but I just discovered something about EA I didn't realize. So they had a couple like overhead games, like fantasy games in 83 they came out with. But then in 83, their big hit, and this is probably what sent them on their trajectory for the rest of the way, is they're the ones that made one-on-one Dr. J versus
Yeah,
Larry Bird.
yeah, yeah,
I didn't realize that was EA. And so like
yeah,
that came across everything, Apple, Macintosh, Atari,
yeah. I had that one
MS-DOS.
too.
And then like then they just went into a whole list of interesting
I
things.
wonder if there was someone out. I wonder if there was a simulation mode for Dr. J and Larry Bird.
Probably not. Probably not.
No,
But
they
I
didn't
mean,
have
I
any stats.
remember that
I
game
used to
was
play
like,
the hell out of that
holy
game.
shit. Yeah,
I used
like
to play
that
the hell
was
out
the
of that game.
game. God,
You can
I
tell
guess
the
I didn't
age.
realize EA was around that long.
You can tell the age of people too, because there's people that talk about that game and say when they say it was Michael. There was a Michael Jordan version, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, yeah.
Yep. Wasn't it Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson?
Was it? I don't know. I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't know
know
when
either.
that would have come out.
But the
Uh,
um oh, I was gonna say something about Earl Weaver. I don't
Earl
remember.
Weaver.
But dude, what a great guy to start a gaming franchise with, right? Like he was the guy that baseball's just pitching, defense, and three-run home runs. Like he was that guy. But what a funny guy to start with of all the people they could have started it with is Earl
Then they
Weaver.
went to Madden. Then they built the world of Madden. But
They liked big guys that bloviated a lot and were great in press conferences. That's what both those guys were.
well, allegedly, I remember when they made that game, like they told the whole story about him being intimately involved. I mean, with Earl Weaver at least being intimately involved in the creation of it and the simulation of it. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
I'd like to know more about that. But no, it's interesting. I mean, it's. I mean, I don't know how many people. It came up in my mind recently because people will talk about wanting to be able to do stuff in game, which I understand the appeal, and then you go all the way to games that are pushing the buttons
Yep.
of getting your batter to bat, which is just a different skill set
It's just a
totally.
different
But
game. Well, it's a different game.
yeah, it's a different game.
Yeah.
But just the straight general manager, you've made your decisions and you're going to watch them play out.
Yeah,
Totally
I've actually
appeals to
given
me.
that. Let's talk about that for a second because I've given that a lot of thought too. It's like where's that line? Because like there has to be some settings to just like how the game plays because the because of how you're building your team, you're building it based on how you want them to play in the games. But at some point you cross a line where this isn't that game, where this is a general manager simulation, not a field manager simulation. So you can only allow that up to a certain point before you start developing into a realm that will take the game in a direction that it's not meant to go.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that people are interested in different things. Yeah, and some people are more interested in those those in-game manager settings and wish that there was more going on there, which I do understand. But to me personally, I think that player selection and
We
roster
want a team
management
build.
is the
Yeah. Yeah, we want a team build. We don't want to be putting on hit runs in game. And where
Yeah.
that line comes for me is like I do understand that it would be great to optimize bullpen logic or something like that. Like I do understand where somebody's like, nah, this part of the game feels a little bit broken. It's like, okay, we can work on that eventually. That's where the line is for me, is where the physics of the game or something don't match with what you're building on the outside. But as soon as that guy comes down from the skybox and is in the dugout, we've gone too far. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a different company.
Yeah.
It's the spinoff,
Yeah.
spinoff company.
Then it becomes
Yes.
small ball or one of these other games.
And
I haven't
that's
said
what,
the name small ball in a long time.
going back, yeah, I mean, the whole idea, we talked about it recently, but the stats that come out trying to work backwards from those results, like, we do pretty good. We have certain stats that are skewed from reality, but no matter what, when you have the randomization, like there's specific games that are going to look specific games, specific situations that are baked in there that look screwy. That
Yeah.
like that why did that motherfucker run or whatever else? But
Or like, yeah, what's the real likelihood of a pitcher pitching a 9 inning shutout on 61 pitches?
yeah, well,
You know,
the pitch counts. Yeah.
but that's not like impactful enough that it's like we need to design around. Like there's
Yeah.
lots of things to.
Wonder when
And what's
these games.
fucking
Well,
reality
Madden.
anyway?
What's
I mean, what's
reality?
reality anyway when it comes to
Yeah, no, I know.
MLB? Like we don't even have pitchers that like if they get to the seventh inning, it's the great success. Like there used to be a place for left-handed specialists where they'd only throw to one hitter, and they outlawed that. Like Major League Baseball changes every year, so they have eras just like we're going to have, and some of those eras aren't going to exactly comport with whatever was happening in Major League Baseball at the time, but they don't need to. Like we're just playing alternate universe of baseball, and as long as
Yeah.
everybody's on that same playing field and understands the rules and logic behind it, it's okay.
Wonder what percent of people with Madden or with these games. Wonder how many people are stimulating them like we do, as opposed to doing the actual
I bet it's a
playing
bigger
in-game.
number than people realize.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
And
I
they
think
build
so.
towards that, obviously.
Well, remember they tried. They came out with EA Sports NFL head coach. And I was so excited about this game. Bill Cowher was on the cover, and it was going to be just the off-season stuff and in-game management. But they botched it so bad. It was definitely designed by somebody that was not of the same mindset that we're talking about. And it was such an annoying, tedious, arduous.
Like what kind of stuff?
I'm trying to, I need to go through that again because I don't want to say something that's wrong, but I just remember a lot of stupid stuff being part of it. Like what was that game where you had to keep fans happy by setting the hot dog prices?
Well, that's what. Yeah, we talk about out of the park.
Concessions. Yeah.
Out of the
Oh yeah,
park.
it's good. Yeah, like you get to a point where you jump the shark, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, again, they have a market and there's people that do it, but for me, when I played that game, Joke was playing it for a while and like becomes a second job, but for me, like the very first thing was like, all right, let me turn off 95% of the different things that I could be doing because it's way too much. Yeah.
Yep. But actually, I do think you had to set concession prices in NFL head coach.
Really?
But I remember it just getting really arduous on like the training part of it, like training players and things like that. Like I want to build it just wasn't what it could have been. I wish they'd give another shot at that and really do a lot of focus groups.
I gotta look that one up too. Let me fix the pictures of my kid. I gotta look at that too, but I do
NFL head
think, like
coach.
we said, like our game specifically, or at least you and me, the appeal is team building, player selection, drafting players, signing players. We're trying to still build out the free agency.
I mean, we're speaking to a
portion of
choir
the
here.
game more.
There's a whole host of people watching this that have played it for 20 years. And the only reason they
Yep,
played it
yep,
20
yep.
years is because they like building teams.
I thought it's true. It's true. I thought it was funny when I got that game because I hadn't played one of those in forever. I hadn't played one of those games since they probably had a different college football game, but yeah. And also it might be because I'm an old man who I played the first game against my kid and I was pushing the buttons and I was like, motherfuckers won't, like, I couldn't get him to do what I wanted him to do. And then it's like,
Back in the day
think
where there was just one button and it was speed burst. And now you got to do all these crazy things like control your receiver while you're the quarterback.
Yep.
I can't handle
maybe that's the excuse.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the excuse is
I can't even
I know
do
these guys are better
shooters.
than they're playing because of me. What?
I can't even do first person shooters.
Yeah,
like I can't even do the thing where you have to strafe while you're moving forward. And these kids are playing like Minecraft and Roblox like crazy. I can't do it. I'm not.
All right, I'm gonna look.
I sound like such an old man right now. I shouldn't even said any of that out loud.
Man. So what was it called? Head coach?
Yeah,
EA
NFL head coach. NFL, yeah, NFL it was EA coach. NFL head coach. Bill Cowher was on the cover.
I'm gonna look that one up. What year you think it is?
Oof.
Don't look it up.
Maybe 2012. I don't know.
Right. I'm looking that up as soon as we're done here.
Yeah.
And we're at 15.
Oh. Okay. 09. 09.
Okay.
Oh, maybe they came out with it twice because I see one with Tony Dungy on it too, but maybe that was just the computer version. Anyways, whatever. All of you watching.
Dungy is not like Earl Weaver or John Madden. I'm just gonna say, go ahead.
Yeah, no, he does not bloviate.
Mode.
He doesn't have good interviews.
There you go.
Did he ever say anything entertaining in an interview? He was a great commentator, but
I'm gonna look that up too.
Yep, Tony Dungy, former defensive coordinator from the Vikings. He was very good. All right, that's it. This week, this day, this couple days is 48 hours in baseball. I just did a Dwight Gooden in BaseHit. Baseball.com, BaseHit as well. All right, whatever. Bye.